We have some new polling data here from ABC News and the Washington Post, and it is bad news for Hillary Clinton. Donald Trump has regained the lead in the election a week before Election Day. Wowzers. There are no words for that. Donald Trump is in the lead in a new poll a week before Election Day. Now, to be fair, it's within the margin of error. Donald Trump, 46%. Hillary Clinton, 45%. But to me, there's an even more damaging fact in there. Now, that's bad enough, because you don't want the thing to be anywhere near that close, never mind him edging it out, this close to the election. But listen to this. They say, quote, among voters who say they are very enthusiastic about their choices, it is a metric that favors Trump, with 53% of the GOP candidate supporters falling into that category, as opposed to just 45% for Clinton. Donald Trump's base is more enthusiastic for him than the Democratic base is for Hillary Clinton. File that one under www.itoldyoussobitch.org, because that's what I've been saying all along, and nobody's listening. Well, that's not fair. Of course people are listening. But I don't know what percentage of people I've swayed with my arguments on that, but you heard it in the mainstream media time and time again. Yeah, I just have to tell everybody, there appears to be a split growing within the Republican Party, and this is great for the Democrats. Within the Republican Party, if you really think about it, you have so many Republicans who are they're not comfortable with Trump. There's the Never Trumpers, and we're going to talk about them for an hour and a half, and we're going to focus on them, and we're going to say, oh my God, look, a rift. They're fractured. And the entire time, what did I tell you? I told you, well, hold on now. It appears like only the establishment Republicans are against Trump. So you get the misimpression there's this, in the country, there's a lot of people in the Republican base are anti-Trump, when the reality is all it is the elitists in Washington. That's it, man. Those are the only people who are like, okay, we're not very happy about this. People like Bill Kristol, top neocons, people who are some members of the Bush family, as we've covered in detail. People who are deep establishment insiders, they're rich, and they say, well, we are quite offended by him bucking the foreign policy party line of more hawkishness. I'm not so sure I like this. Well, we don't know. We are pro-TPP here in the Republican establishment, so I don't know. His rhetoric against the TPP is not very good. I don't like it. Now they pretend like, oh, we're against the xenophobia and the bigotry. My ass cheeks you are. You guys said the same things in more coded language for, I don't know, the past 50 years. So that was all bullshit. But it gave people the misimpression, there's a split in the Republican Party, because we see so many prominent Republicans are saying, I'm not so sure about Trump. Now, on the flip side, what's going on with Hillary Clinton? All the establishment Democrats are like, awesome. I love Hillary Clinton. But what did I tell you? The reality is there really is a split in the Democratic base. The Democratic Party really is fractured. Now, why is that? Well, every move Hillary Clinton did snubbed her base. Look at what happened in the general election. She was literally giving speeches on stage with Bush-era neocons and talking about how we need a more hawkish foreign policy. One of the main things your base was concerned about all along is that you're too fucking hawkish. And in the general election, the second you get the opportunity, boom, you prove them right. Yeah, anyway, so all the people who are supposed to vote for me, who I'm just going to say I have no matter what, I'm going to go and slap them in the face in the general election, and then that'll be that. And then they'll be forced to vote for me. And then since I'm so moderate and so centrist, I'll get people, crossover voters. Maybe I'll get some Republicans to vote for me. So snub my entire base to gain a few Republican votes / maybe not because they hate me too. Why are you doing that? That's a terrible idea. I don't know why you would even consider that. But it's the standard textbook that she went back to. Okay, I'm going to pretend to be progressive in the primary, and then in the general, I'm going to run massively right-wing, because that's the way that we're supposed to go, and that's the way that my husband won in 1992, and I'm just going to pretend like Sorry, I'm fixing something here on my computer. I'm just going to pretend like it's still 1992, and that's the way the country is feeling when that is not how we are feeling. You're a candidate who voted for the Iraq War. You're a candidate who voted for the Patriot Act. You're a candidate who supported outsourcing deals. You're a candidate who was in favor of the deregulation of Wall Street. Your husband signed the deregulation of Wall Street. And now the argument you're going to make is not, oh, whoa. No. Let's be clear. I am a liberal, and I don't believe in any of that stuff. The argument you made was, yeah, in the primary, maybe/maybe not. I'm that. And then in the general, it was, yeah, fuck all that. Yeah, I'm centrist. I'm center-right. I'm hawkish. That's what I am. And then, of course, with the attacks on Bernie Sanders that were so hacky that even her advisors warned her, hey, this is going to hurt you in the general. I'd stop. Pump your brakes. We learned from WikiLeaks. Some people were emailing her like, whoa, what are you doing? Don't do that. You need Bernie's voters. You're going to need them for the general. Yeah, the Bernie bro, misogynist. Yeah, that's what it is. The most liberal senator in the fucking country secretly hates women. That's what it is. All his supporters hate women. And then when she realized, oh shit, I'm losing my base and I'm bleeding millennial support, what did she do? Instead of, going out there and saying, okay, look, let's really get into the policy details and specifics of things that you guys like, student loan debt, healthcare, all that stuff. Nope. Put all that aside. Go out. Sometimes I play the Pokemons too. Look at me. I'm on Jimmy Fallon's show. Aren't I hip? Aren't I with it? You want me to do the Macarena? Let's do the Macarena. Let's say we're stronger together. I like how I'm rolling away as I'm talking to you. That happens all the time. The old school Secular Talk listeners know that I've been struggling with that for a while. The floor's like slanted in here. But that's what she does. It's all, hey, window dressing, kabuki theater. I'm going to pretend to be on your side. Here, have some Crystal Pepsi or some Zima. Let's use some hula hoops. Maybe use a yo-yo or two. Aren't I so young and cool? Anyway, let's pass TPP. What? No, but see, that's the problem, Hillary. We see through your bullshit. So she's the wrong candidate. I mean, the establishment shoved her down our throats thinking, well, come on, be responsible. This is the one who's going to defeat Trump. What? But we told you, look at the polls. It's not just our opinion. It's not just our feeling. It's not just our gut. We looked at the numbers. So, for example, in some polls, Bernie Sanders was beating Donald Trump in a general election matchup by 15 points. Fucking 15 points. What is that? It is a crushing, legendary, historic victory. On average, he was up 9 or 10 points. It wasn't even close. I would take Plastic Boy Martin O'Malley over Hillary Clinton right now and his chances in a general election. Why? He doesn't have dirt on him. The main problem with Hillary Clinton is people go, I don't think she's progressive. I don't think she's a liberal, but she wants all the liberals to vote for her and be happy about it when we're not. That plus all of the dirt on her. She's got 9,362 scandals, and the fucking dumbass establishment was like, well, this one's the best one with the shot against Trump, am I right? Yeah, totally. She's raised over $3 billion in her career. Her family has, the Clintons have, and that includes speeches that they've given and taken the money and put it directly in their pocket. That includes their super PACs. That includes their respective campaigns. For their careers, they've raised over $3 billion. How naive do you have to be to look at that and go, no, nothing wrong with that. Nothing weird about that. It's not like they're going to have to do favors for people when they're in there. Goldman Sachs paying her over $600,000 to do a speech. Other financial institutions paying over $200,000. Guys, they're not just taking that money from her because they want her to come give a 45-minute talk on abortion or birth control or her feelings on various social issues like the LGBTQ movement. They're giving her that money because it buys them access, and it buys them favoritism, and it buys them special deals. Goldman Sachs, for fuck's sake, had a business model that was fraud. Bernie Sanders was correct. It was factual when he said that. They would sell these toxic subprime mortgage packages to unsuspecting clients, telling them, this is going to be great for you, man. You're going to make a lot of money. Then they turn around and bet on that same package to fail that they just sold as if it was great. That is fraud! And they get away with it because they bought the government and they bought Hillary Clinton. And we're all supposed to look at her, ha ha ha, yeah, this is the one who's going to beat Trump, let me tell you. Pay to play going on in the Clinton Foundation, been proven time and time again. Great reporting by the International Business Times going into all the details on that. Clearly corrupt. You know, you got that going on. You have even the scandals that have nothing to them. Some of them do have a lot to them. Like I just said, the Clinton Foundation, the email scandal, we know she broke some laws even though the FBI let her off. But even things like Benghazi, which there's nothing to it, when you're fucking hammered over and over again in the media, you're a damaged candidate. Because people go, hey, maybe there is something to it, but there's some questions about her. Now, Trump, on the other hand, he's got a million problems with him, but you've put people in a position where they say, it's a wash. It's a wash because, hey, got some problems on this side, got some problems on that side. So now you have a close election as a result of it. Hillary Clinton has nobody to blame but Hillary Clinton for her current position. You're down a point to Donald Trump a week leading up to the election. You got nobody to blame. And you're going to, her supporters, her loyalist, partisan hack supporters, they will lose their minds blaming everybody but Hillary Clinton and themselves. Well, we should buy them a mirror. Because guess what? Your outreach to the liberal base was what? Stupid, Bernie, bro. You're so dumb. Get in line. Shut the fuck up. Oh, you're going to win over so many people like that because you couldn't make any policy arguments because your policy arguments sucked balls. So you couldn't do it. So what do? You chastise, you talk down to them. And Hillary Clinton bungled this campaign in 9,000 different ways. Dude, Donald Trump is literally the most disliked candidate in U.S. political history. That's not hyperbole. That is factual. At one point, his unfavorables were 63%. And that guy is now beating, or statistically tied with, Hillary Clinton. The establishment was wrong. And let's also be clear, they did force her down our throats. We saw all the trickery that went on during the primary. We saw it. He goes, nothing to see here, but we know that that's the case, and we know from WikiLeaks how Debbie Wasserman Schultz was working with the media, and she was, hey, I'm going to go to your higher-up at MSNBC if you keep covering us negatively. We know about what they did with the closed primaries and how they celebrated closed primaries behind the scenes, so they're happy when fewer people vote because that helped Hillary over Bernie, and then now in the general, they're going to pretend like the Republicans, they're happy when fewer people vote because they're anti-democracy. What about you? They made their bed, man, and they may have to sleep in it. So you need to know the state of the election, and you need to remember who was telling you all along. There was a brief period there where the numbers were just too overwhelming. Before this new email leak, the numbers were overwhelming, and Hillary almost had it locked up. She did. She almost had it locked up. But with this new email leak, I guess it just reminds people of all the dirt and all the scandals on her, and now the race is more or less evened out. So, and I told you from the beginning, I told you back during the beginning of the Republican primary when only 3 states had voted. It would be a minor miracle if Donald Trump didn't win the primary. And then you can go back and look at the beginning of the general election. I was warning everybody and their mother. What was I saying? Don't underestimate Trump. Don't underestimate Trump. He's got a million problems, and he's got a lot of baggage, and he's a moron. But if he goes out there and only talks about TPP and corruption in the system and Hillary's too much of a hawk and I want to rebuild our infrastructure, he did a lot of these things in the primary. If he only hammered away on those issues in the general election, he could have won. Well, guess what? He didn't only hammer away on those issues. He shoved his foot in his mouth 1,000,000 times. And he's still up on Hillary right now, a week before the election. We were right. The Bernie supporters all along were right. You should have went with Bernie Sanders. The election would be over if you went with Bernie Sanders, and we'd be marching towards a social democratic system, and we'd be working towards fixing our problems. Instead, we have a shitty, corrupt corporatist insider who's business as usual versus a fascist buffoon There's no winning in that situation. But now, like we warned you all along, you may get the worst case scenario. Not because of anything the Bernie supporters did, not because of anybody else, but it's Hillary Clinton's fault, and it's Hillary Clinton's supporters' fault. That's the bottom line.